It's been a busy couple of months here in Virginia. With Lori's work schedule and my work schedule, we didn't exactly get a lot of time to hunt together. On my days off, I was hitting the woods trying to locate the birds, and it looked like a very promising start to our season. But I guess the birds had other ideas. The first couple of days of the season were actually kind of slow. We didn't have a whole lot of action the first day, and the second day me and Lori hunted together. We had one bird that came in, but he hung up at about 60 yards. We just couldn't get a shot on him.
After the first couple of days of the season, I had to go back to work, so I left Chris all by himself to self-film on the family farm.
With Lori back at work, I decided to grab our camera and climb into one of our ground blinds and try a little self-filming.
Set up on the edge of a barley field. We're definitely having a slow start to the spring gobbler season.
But about 9 o'clock, things started to heat up. We had a couple of hens come out to my left, and I can hear the old gobbler back in the woods talking his head off. He actually snuck around the hens and tried to cut them off. He came out about 80 yards in front of us on the edge of the field. He saw our decoys, but he didn't want any parts of those. He wanted the real thing. We kept teasing this bird with our calls, and eventually he just couldn't take it anymore. He made a big circle in there and came back out to the field, about 75 yards in front of us. Once he seen our decoys, he just couldn't resist. He started to head straight for us. He got within 35 yards of us, and I knew he was in shotgun range. I just had to make sure he was still in focus on the camera. Shot, or should I say shots, didn't go exactly as planned, but ultimately we got the bird on the ground. bird definitely had a will to live. It's the second day of the spring gobbler season here in Virginia, and we finally got it done. Our first day didn't go so well. We didn't have a whole lot talking. It was just a slow morning all around. This morning, I'm out here by myself, self-filming and shooting. Lori had to work this morning, so I decided to just go ahead and sit in our Primos ground blind and just try to get whatever footage I could. So we had this bird come out earlier, and was just being stubborn. He had 2 hens and a jake with him, and he was more interested in them than us. It wasn't pretty, but it doesn't have to be. One of my buddies called me up, and he had just recently bought a new farm. He wanted to know if we wanted to do a little filming out there, and I jumped on this opportunity. Headed to one of my buddy's house this morning. They just moved in there. Him and his wife just built a new house, and they've already got a ton of turkeys on the farm. So we're gonna go check out things down there, see what we can get on this morning. He's got a couple birds been coming right off the roost right into the field, 6:30ish. So hopefully we can go out there and get on one first thing. He already had a couple birds roosted. So the first thing that morning, we were gonna sneak out on the edge of the field and try to cut them off. We found the absolute perfect spot to set up on. The only issue was the entire ground was covered in poison. As we were kind of debating back and forth what we should do, the turkey gobbled and he was right on top of us. So, we did what any old good Virginia rednecks would do. We sat in the poison. The gobbler was behind us and kind of to our right. So we hurried up and got the decoy set up to our left, hoping to just kind of pull that gobbler right in front of us.
That hen is right there.
When the gobbler finally committed to the field, he was 5 steps to my right. When he crossed in front of me, he almost stepped on my boot. I couldn't get the camera on him because I didn't want to move too much. Once he got out into the field a little ways, Andrew was ready to rock and roll and already had the gun on him. Once I gave Andrew the go sign, the rest was history.
No, dude, we're good.
Dude, he was literally within step of us.
Is that not awesome? You see what he did to the decoy?
Yep.
So Chris and I had to scramble to get set up in time. Bird was gobbling right behind us. We were sitting right on the edge of about a 60-acre wheat field, and I know these birds have been skirting the edge all spring long. So set the decoys up, and hen started calling, so we had to battle with her. Finally got her to fly down into the field. So I stopped calling a little bit, and we heard the gobbler fly down, and about that time, Chris said, he's coming, he's coming. And I glanced over to my right and saw him coming right down the field. And once he saw the avian Jake decoy, he was set on going to it. He ran right past us, 6, 7 steps away from us. Never saw it, never saw us.
Andrew's been one of my best friends since we were little kids. It was just an awesome experience to get to film him. This was the first time for him to be in front of the camera, and now he'll get to relive his adventure for the rest of his life. My cousin called me up the other day and asked if I had heard a new song by Blake Shelton called Granddaddy's Gun. The first time I heard this song, it almost brought me to tears. I knew right then that I wanted to dedicate a hunt to both my granddads.
After Chris told me his idea, I knew that I wanted to be with him on this hunt. Unfortunately, with my work schedule, spring is just a really crazy time and there was no way I could take any time off of work. So we got his good friend Matt to come and help along. Matt works with Chris and he's really great with the camera equipment, so I knew that the boys would get the job done.
Double barrels have been in our family for generations. The first time I heard that song, it described my granddad's gun to a T. From the crack in the stock, up to the gun kicking the stuffings out of you. We woke up that morning, I grabbed a handful of shells, my granddad's gun, and my pawpaw's box call, and me and Matt hit the woods. As soon as we got set up, we had birds on both sides of us. At this point, whichever one showed up first was going to be our movie star. Got it done with Granddaddy's gun. We got it done again here in Virginia. This morning, I didn't have a cameraman, so one of my buddies at work offered to film me this morning, so I got Matt behind the camera. This is the last Saturday we were going to get to hunt, and I wanted to do something special, so I brought out my granddad's double barrel. The double barrels are a long family tradition, and this will be the first bird I ever got with it, and I just can't tell you how much it means to me. We had the bird at 16 yards, and we got the job done. So, double barrel put him down again. That hunt meant the world to me. That was the perfect way to end our season.
Spring turkey season is always tough with the crazy work schedules that Chris and I have. Luckily, we have a great group of people that were able to help us out, and we just wanted to thank each and every one of you because we couldn't have done it without you.